Hello, I'm Douglas Gresham, your host for Focus on the Family Radio Theatre. I have a particular affection for the story we're about to hear from the Chronicles of Narnia, though the reason has little to do with the wonderful story itself. By 1953, C.S. Lewis, or Jack as he preferred to be called, and my mother, an American named Joy Gresham, had become friends while we were living in England. Jack was already a renowned writer and teacher at the time, whose works included the Screwtape Letters, Mere Christianity, and a science fiction trilogy. For many, however, he was best known as the author of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, Prince Caspian, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and The Silver Chair. I loved those books, so it was with no small degree of amazement that I found myself in the company of their author. Imagine it, an American child of 8 not only meeting, but becoming friends with the man who'd created Narnia. I remember going to the house for the first time and seeing a large oak wardrobe in the hall. Wide-eyed, I asked Jack if it was the wardrobe from the famous story. Jack smiled and said, "It might be." It was years before I dared to hang a coat in that wardrobe. In December 1953, my mother and brother David and I spent 4 days at Jack's house. We walked the countryside, saw the sights of Oxford, and generally exhausted poor Jack with our high energy. At the end of that visit, Jack presented my brother and me with a typed manuscript of the book he'd actually written the previous year. It was about to go to the publisher for release. The book had been through several different titles by then. For a while it was known as Narnia and the North. The publisher didn't like that one very much, so Jack tried The Desert Road to Narnia, Over the Border, and even Core of Archenland. None of them seemed to work. Finally, Jack settled on the title that I saw on the typed manuscript. I'm talking, of course, about The Horse and His Boy. A bigger surprise awaited us, though. Jack had dedicated the book to us. The story itself hardly takes place in Narnia at all. The world we saw in The Magician's Nephew and The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe seems to have disappeared. Or has it? I understand from various sources that Jack intentionally constructed The Horse and His Boy to convey a certain sense of unbelonging on the part of the fugitives who head north for Narnia. For Jack, it represented the same sense of unbelonging we all have in this world. We were made for something greater, he would say. But it takes a journey to discover what that is. A journey like the one we'll find in this third Chronicle of Narnia. Focus on the Family Radio Theatre is now proud to present The Horse and His Boy.
The ship's boat is lowered, Your Lordship. Get in! Get in, but we're in the midst of a battle! Get in, I say! You are the only one I trust, the Lord Bar! Don't argue! Get into the boat! Yes, sir! I'm in! Now what do you want me to do?
Let's take this child. What? Take him back to our country, to the Tisrock. It is of the utmost importance. He is...
My Lord Bar! No! Leave me! Go! You must go!
This is the story of an adventure that happened in Narnia and Calormen and the land between in the Golden Age, when Peter was High King in Narnia and his brother and 2 sisters were king and queens under him. In those days, far south in Calormen, on a little creek of the sea, there lived a poor fisherman called Arshish. and with him there lived a boy who called him father. The boy's name was Shasta. On most days, Ashish went out in his boat to fish in the morning, and in the afternoon he harnessed his donkey to a cart and loaded the cart with fish and went a mile or so southward to the village to sell it. If it had sold well, he would come home in a moderately good temper and say nothing to Shasta. But if it sold badly, well...
What do you take me for?
What? What's wrong?
I work all day and come home to this? It's a pigsty.
I was mending and washing the nets like you told me.
All day? And where's my supper?
I'm making it now.
When I come through the door, I want my meal ready. Oh, you're a no-good, worthless...
I do my best.
Come here.
No, please. No, I did my best. Ow.
One day there came from the south a stranger who was unlike any man that Shasta had seen before. He rode upon a strong, dappled horse with flowing mane and tail, and his stirrups and bridle were inlaid with silver. The spike of a helmet projected from the middle of his silken turban, and he wore a shirt of chain mail. By his side hung a curving scimitar, a round shield studded with bosses of brass, and his right hand grasped a lance. His face was dark, like all the people of Calormen, but his beard was dyed crimson and was curled and gleamed with scented oil. Shasta knew by the gold on the stranger's bare arm that he was a Tarkan, or great lord.
Whoa, whoa! You, fisherman!
Yes, master. Deal, you stupid boy.
Yes, Father.
I have traveled far. I need hospitality for the night.
Oh, yes, of course. We are unworthy to have such an honor.
Quiet!
Yes, my lord. Go on, boy. Inside now and fix our guests some supper.
Yes, Father.
Shasta prepared the best they had and set it before the Tarkan for supper. And as always happened when the fisherman had company, Shasta was given a hunk of bread and turned out of the cottage. On these occasions, he usually slept with the donkey in its little thatched stable. But it was much too early to go to sleep yet, and Shasta, who'd never learned that it was wrong to listen behind doors, sat down with his ear to a crack in the wooden wall of the cottage to hear what the grown-ups were talking about.
Are you pleased with the meal, my lord?
It will suffice. Though I have a mind to buy that boy of yours.
Oh, my master. What price could induce your poor servant to sell into slavery his only child and his own flesh? Has not one of the poets said, "Natural affection is stronger than soup, and offspring more precious than carbuncle"?
But another poet has likewise said, "He who attempts to deceive the judicious is already bearing his own back for the scourge." Do not load your aged mouth with falsehoods. This boy is no son of yours, for your cheek is as dark as mine, but the boy is fair and white like the accursed but beautiful barbarians who inhabit the remote north.
How well you have said. Know then, O my formidable guest, that because of extreme poverty I have never married and have no child. But in the same year in which the Tisroc, may he live forever, began his beneficent reign, on a night when the moon was full, it pleased the gods to deprive me of sleep. Therefore I arose from my bed in this hovel and went forth to the beach to refresh myself with looking upon the water and breathing the cool air.
What of it?
Well, presently I heard a noise as of oars coming to me across the water, and then I heard a weak cry. Shortly after, the tide brought to the land a little boat, in which there was nothing but a man, lean with extreme hunger and thirst, who seemed to have died but a few moments before.
How could you know that?
The man was still warm. But there was a child still living.
Unfortunates who have escaped from the wreck of a great ship, I surmise then. And the elder has starved himself to keep the child alive, and sadly has perished in sight of land. Being moved by compassion, for your servant is a man of tender heart.
Leave out all these idle words in your own praise. It is enough to know that you took the child and have had 10 times the worth of his daily bread out of him in labor as anyone can see. And now, tell me at once what price you put on him, for I am wearied with your talkativeness.
You yourself have wisely said that the boy's labor has been to me of an estimable value. This must be taken into account in fixing the price. For if I sell the boy, I must undoubtedly either buy or hire another to do his work.
I'll give you 15 crescents for him.
15. 15? For the prop of my old age and the delight of my eyes? Oh, do not mock my grey beard, Tarkhan though you be. My price is 70.
70? Why, I need only travel to your village to find an equal servant for half.
My lord is welcome to try. Oh, come. We are reasonable men, men of business.
Then be reasonable, or I shall lose my temper.
Have another drink, my lord.
You must not imagine that Shasta felt at all as you and I would feel if we had just overheard our parents talking about selling us for slaves. For one thing, his life was already a little better than slavery. For all he knew, the lordly stranger on the great horse might be kinder to him than Arshish. For another, he'd often been uneasy because, try as he might, he'd never been able to love the fisherman. And he knew that a boy ought to love his father. And now, apparently, he was no relation to Arshish at all. He was standing out on the grassy place before the cottage while he thought about his being discovered in the boat. Twilight was coming on apace, and a star or two was already out. Not far away, the stranger's horse, loosely tied to an iron ring in the wall of the donkey's stable, was grazing. Shasta strolled over to it and patted its neck. It went on tearing up the grass and took no notice of it.
There you are, old fellow. You go on with your meal. Our masters will be haggling for ages. I need a moment to think. It's remarkable. I'm not the son of Arshish, and for that I feel a strange relief. But then, who am I? Or why? I might be anyone. I might be the son of a Tarkhan myself, or the son of the Tisroc, may he live forever, or even of a god. I wonder what sort of man your master is. Perhaps he'd take me to wars, and I'd save his life in a battle, and then he'd set me free and adopt me as his son, and give me a palace and a chariot and a suit of armor. Or he might send me to work on the fields, in chains. Oh, I wish I knew. How can I know? I bet you know. If only you could tell me. Yes, I wish you could talk, old fellow.
But I can.
What?
I said, but I can.
However did you learn to talk?
Shh, hush, not so loud. Where I come from, nearly all the animals talk.
Wherever do you come from?
Narnia.
Where?
The happy land of Narnia. Narnia of the heathery mountains and the thymy downs. Narnia of the many rivers, the mossy caverns and the deep forests ringing with the hammer of the dwarves. The sweet air of Narnia. An hour's life there is better than 1,000 years in Calormen.
But how did you get here?
Kidnapped, or stolen, or captured, whichever you like to call it. I was only a foal at the time. My mother warned me not to range the southern slopes into Archenland and beyond, but I wouldn't heed her. And by the lion's mane I have paid for my folly. All these years I have been a slave to humans, hiding my true nature and pretending to be dumb and witless like their horses.
Why didn't you tell them who you were?
Not such a fool, that's why. If they'd once found out I could talk, they would have made a show of me at fairs and guarded me more carefully than ever. My last chance of escape would have been gone.
But why?
Now look, we mustn't waste time on idle questions. You want to know about my master, the Tarkar Nanradin. Well, he's bad. No, not too bad for me. For a warhorse costs too much to be treated very badly. But you'd better be lying dead tonight than go to be a human slave in his house tomorrow.
Oh, then what am I to do? Oh, I'd better run away.
Yes, you had. But why not run away with me?
Oh? Are you running away too?
Yes, if you'll come with me. This is the chance for both of us. You see, if I run away without a rider, everyone who sees me will say I'm a stray horse and be after me as quick as he can. With a rider, I have a chance to get through. That's where you can help me. On the other hand, you can't get very far on those two silly legs of yours without being taken. But on me, you can outdistance any other horse in this country. That's where I can help you. You do know how to ride, don't you?
Yes, of course. At least, I've ridden a donkey.
Ridden the what? In other words, you can't ride. That's a drawback. I'll have to teach you as we go along.
I'll do my best.
We'll make a fine rider of you in no time. And now, we mustn't start until those two in the hut are asleep. Meantime, we can make our plans. My Tarkan is on his way north to the great city of Tashban and the court of the Tizrok.
May he live forever.
What?
You're meant to say, may he live forever.
I'm a free Narnian. Why should I talk slaves and fools talk? I don't want him to live forever, and I know that he's not going to live forever whether I want him to or not. I can see you're from the Free North too, so no more of that kind of jargon between you and me. And now, back to our plans. As I said, my human was on his way north.
Does that mean we better go south?
I think not. You see, he thinks I'm dumb and witless like his other horses. If I really were, the moment I got loose, I'd go back home to his palace and my stable, which is 2 days' journey south. That's where he'll look for me. He'd never dream of my going north on my own. And anyway, he'll probably think that someone in the last village who saw him ride through has followed us here and stolen me.
Then we'll go north?
Yes.
Oh, hurrah! I've been longing to go to the north all my life.
Of course you have. That's because of the blood that's in you. I'm sure you're true northern stock. The silence in the hut makes me think they're asleep now. Get my things out of the stable, and I'll tell you how to put them on.
All right.
For the next few minutes, Shasta was at work very cautiously to avoid jingling the saddle and bridle. All the while, the horse gave him instructions for tightening the girth or buckling the straps or adjusting the stirrups. Finally, all was finished.
Now, we've got to have reins for the look of the thing, but you won't be using them. Tie them to the saddle bow. Very slack, so I can do what I like with my head. And remember, you're not to touch them.
What are they for, then?
Ordinarily, they're for directing me. But as I intend to do all the directing on this journey, you'll please keep your hands to yourself. And I won't have you grabbing my mane.
Well, if I'm not to hold on by the reins, or by your mane, what am I to hold on by?
You hold on with your knees. That's the secret of good riding. Grip my body between your knees as hard as you like. Sit straight up, straight as an arrow, keep your elbows in. And by the way, what did you do with the spurs?
Oh, they're here. I was going to put them on my heels. I do know that much.
Oh, well, you can put them back in the saddlebag. We may be able to sell them when we get to Tashban. Ready? You can get up now.
Oh.
Come on. There. Now, off we go.
Oh, wait. What shall I call you? I don't know your name. Oh, I'll never be able to say that. Can I call you Bree?
Well, if that's the best you can do, I suppose you must. And what shall I call you?
I'm called Shasta.
Well, now, there's a name that's really hard to pronounce. Are you ready, Shasta?
Yes, Bree.
Then, for Narnia and the North.
For Narnia and the North.
Good morning, small one.
What? Oh, Bree. Oh, I'm so sore all over. I can hardly move.
I was afraid you might feel a bit stiff. The riding comes hard at first, and we were going at quite a pace all night. Do you want breakfast? I've had mine.
Oh, bother breakfast. Bother everything. I tell you, I can't move.
Come along.
All right. Oh. But where are we now? Oh, the air is so clear. No rotten fish stinking it up. Oh, it's lovely.
I think you'll find something to eat in the saddlebags. They're over there on that tree where you hung them up last night. Or early this morning, rather.
Right. I hope I can find something edible. A meat pasty, dried figs, a lump of green cheese, a flask of wine, and what's this? A pouch of money.
Well, that'll be useful.
But won't it be stealing if we use the money?
Oh, I never thought of that. A free horse and a talking horse mustn't steal, of course. Well, I think it's all right. We're prisoners and captives in enemy country. That money is booty, spoil. Besides, how are we going to get any food for you without it?
Good point.
I think I'll have a nice roll before we put on that saddle again. You ought to have one too, Shasta. It's most refreshing.
You look so funny when you're on your back.
I look nothing of the sort. Does it really look funny?
Yes, it does. But what does it matter?
You don't think it might be a thing talking horses never do? A silly, clownish trick I've learned from the dumb ones. It will be dreadful to find when I get back to Narnia that I picked up a lot of bad habits. What do you think, Shasta?
I don't think I should bother about it if I were you. We've got to get there first. Do you know the way?
Well, I know my way to Tashban. After that comes the desert.
The desert?
Oh, yes. We'll manage the desert somehow, never fear. We'll be in the sight of the northern mountains then. Think of it. To Narnia and the north. Nothing will stop us then. But I'll be glad to get past Tashban. You and I are safer away from cities.
Can't we avoid it?
Not without going a long way inland. That would take us into cultivated land and main roads, and I wouldn't know the way. No, we'll just have to creep along the coast. Up here on the downs, we'll meet nothing but sheep and rabbits and gulls and a few shepherds. And by the way, what about starting?
All right.
Shasta's legs ached terribly as he saddled Bree and climbed into the saddle.
There we are.
But the horse was kindly to him and went at a soft pace all afternoon. When evening twilight came, they dropped by steep tracks into a valley and found a village. Before they got into it, Shasta dismounted and entered it on foot to buy a loaf and some onions and radishes. The horse trotted round by the fields in the dusk and met Shasta on the far side. This became their regular plan every second night. These were great days for Shasta, and every day better than the last, as his muscles hardened and he fell less often. Bree was a patient teacher. No one can teach riding so well as a horse. Shasta learned to trot, to canter, to jump, and to keep his seat even when Bree pulled up suddenly or swung unexpectedly to the left or the right, which, as Bree told him, was a thing you might have to do at any moment in a battle.
Bree, do tell me about the battles and wars that you've seen.
Ah, youngster, I will tell you, but I'd rather not. They were only the Tisrock's wars, and I fought them as a slave and a dumb beast. Give me the Narnian wars, where I shall fight as a free horse among my own people. Those will be wars worth talking about. Narnia in the north.
After they had travelled on for weeks and weeks, past more bays and headlands and rivers and villages than Shasta could remember, there came a moonlit night when they started their journey at evening, having slept during the day. They'd left the downs behind them and were crossing a wide plain with a forest about half a mile away on their left. The sea, hidden by low sand hills, was about the same distance on their right. They had jogged along for about an hour, sometimes trotting and sometimes walking, when Bree suddenly stopped.
What's up?
Shh. Did you hear something? Listen.
It sounds like another horse. Between us and the wood.
It is another horse. And that's what I don't like.
Isn't it probably just a farmer riding home late?
That's not a farmer's riding. Nor a farmer's horse either. Can't you tell by the sound? That's quality, that horse is. And it's been ridden by a real horseman. I tell you what it is, Shasta. There's a Tarkan under the edge of that wood. Not on his war horse, it's too light for that. On a fine blood mare, I should say.
Well, it's stopped now, whatever it is.
You're right. And why should he stop just when we do? Shasta, my boy, I do believe there's someone following us at last.
What shall we do?
There's a cloud coming up. I'll wait till that gets over the moon. Then we'll get off to our right as quietly as we can, down to the shore. We can hide among the sand hills if the worst comes to the worst.
We must be nearly at those sandhills by now. What's that?
Lions! We must go inland again. I thought I saw a stream near the forest. The water may throw the brute off our scent. Should do the trick. We can walk for a bit now. Shasta, I'm ashamed of myself. I'm just as frightened as a common dumb Calormen horse. I am, really. I don't feel like a talking horse at all. Well, I don't mind swords and lances and arrows, but I can't bear those creatures. Lions. I've met them before. I think I'll trot for a bit.
Bree, 1 minute it sounds like it's on one side of us, and the next minute it sounds like it's on the other.
Oh, two of them!
Well, I say, look, that other horse, it's galloping beside us now, only a stone's throw away.
Oh, the better. Tarkan on it. We'll have the sword. Protect us all.
Oh, but Bree, we might just as well be killed by lions as caught. Or I might. They'll hang me for horse stealing.
I'll move away then.
sheered away to his right. Oddly enough, the other horse sheered away to the left, so that in a few seconds the space between them had widened a good deal. But as soon as it did so, there came... The horses drew nearer together again. So, apparently, did the lions. The roaring of the brutes on each side was horribly close, and they seemed to be keeping up with the galloping horses quite easily. Then the cloud rolled away, and the moonlight, astonishingly bright, showed up everything almost as if it were broad day. Shasta saw that the other rider was a very small, slender person, mail-clad and riding magnificently. He had no beard. The two horses and two riders galloped neck to neck and knee to knee, just as if they were in a race. Suddenly, something flat and shiny spread out before them. But before Shasta had time even to guess what it was...
Hold on tight, Shasta. You'll have to swim this.
Oh, I see it, Bree. A lion on the water's edge.
Only one?
We must have shaken off the other one.
The lion apparently didn't think its prey worth a wetting. At any rate, it made no attempt to take the water in pursuit. The two horses, with their riders side by side, finally reached the opposite shore. Suddenly, two voices spoke at Shasta's side.
Oh, I'm so tired. Hold your tongue, Queen, and don't be a fool.
I must be dreaming, Bree. I could have sworn that other horse spoke.
So it did. Steady there. I heard you, I did. There's no good pretending, Mum. I heard you. You're a talking horse. A Narnian horse, just like me.
What's it got to do with you if she is?
Why, you're only a girl.
And what business is it of yours if I am only a girl? You're probably only a boy, a rude, common little boy, a slave probably, who's stolen his master's horse.
That's all you know.
He's not a thief, little Tarkina. At least if there's been any stealing, you might just as well say I stole him. And as for its not being my business, well, you wouldn't expect me to pass a lady of my own race in this strange country without speaking to her. It's only natural I should.
I think it's very natural, too.
I wish you'd hold your tongue, Gwyn. Look at the trouble you've got us into.
I don't know about trouble. You can clear off as soon as you like. We shan't keep you.
No, you shan't.
What quarrelsome creatures these humans are. They're as bad as mules. We horses must make sense. I take it, Ma'am, your story is the same as mine. Captured in early youth, years of slavery among the Calormens.
Too true, sir.
And now, perhaps, escape?
Tell him to mind his own business, Gwyn.
No, I won't, Your Highness. This is my escape as much as yours. And I'm sure a noble war horse like this is not going to betray us. We are trying to escape, to get to Narnia.
And so, of course, are we. You guessed it at once. A little boy in rags riding, or trying to ride, a war horse in the dead of night couldn't mean anything but an escape of some sort. And, if I may say so, a high-born Tarkina riding alone at night, dressed up in her brother's armour, and very anxious for everyone to mind their own business and ask her no questions. Well, if that's not fishy, call me a cob.
All right, then. You've guessed it. Gwyn and I are running away. We're trying to get to Narnia. And now what about it?
In that case, what is to prevent us all going together? I trust you will accept such assistance and protection as I may be able to give you on the journey.
I don't know that there's much point in all going together. Aren't we more likely to be noticed?
Yes.
Oh, do let's. I should feel much more comfortable. We're not even certain of the way. I'm sure a great charger like this knows far more than we do.
Come on, Bree. Let them go their own way. Can't you see they don't want us?
We do.
Look here. I don't mind going with you, Mr. Warhorse. But what about this boy? How do I know he's not a spy?
Why don't you say it at once? You think I'm not good enough for you. That's it, isn't it?
Be quiet, Shasta. I'll vouch for the boy, Tarkina. He's been true to me and a good friend these many weeks we've travelled. and is certainly either a Narnian or an Archenlander.
All right then, let's go together.
Splendid. And now that we've got the water between us and those dreadful lions, what about you two humans taking off our saddles and are all having a rest?
Yes, yes. The grasslands up above Beaver's Dam. I remember them well. I have relatives who live there.
As do I. Wouldn't it be remarkable if we were distantly related? Second cousins, perhaps?
I wouldn't be a bit surprised. Oh, to see Narnia again.
So you were captured as a foe?
Yes, so long ago.
Boy, will you not have any of our food?
My name is Shasta, and no thank you, I won't.
Suit yourself.
And now, Tarkina, you have heard our story. It's time for us to hear yours. Who are you, and why are you running away?
My name is Erevis Takina, and I am the only daughter of Kidrash Tarkan, the son of Rishti Tarkan, the son of Ardib Tisroc, who was descended in a right line from the god Tash. My father is a lord of the province of Calaver, and is one who has the right of standing on his feet in his shoes before the face of Tisroc himself. May he live forever.
We don't have to say that anymore.
Say what?
May he live forever.
Never mind, young one. Continue.
My mother, on whom be the peace of the gods, is dead, and my father has married another woman. Now it came to pass that my stepmother hated me and persuaded my father to promise me in marriage to Ahoshta Tarkan. Now this Ahoshta is of base birth and is at least 60 years old and has a hump on his back, and his face resembles that of an old ape. Nevertheless, through flattery and evil counsels, he has won the favour of the Tisroc, may he live forever, and may one day be chosen as the Grand Vizier. For these reasons, my father agreed with my stepmother and sent word to the Ahoshta that we could wed this very year at the time of high summer.
I don't understand. You're not a grown-up. I don't believe you're any older than I am. How could you be getting married at your age?
Shasta, don't display your ignorance. They're always married at that age in the great Tarkan families. Now, Tarkina, please continue your story.
When this news was brought to me, I laid myself on my bed and wept for a day. On the second day, I rose up and washed my face, and caused my mare Hwyn to be saddled. I took with me a sharp dagger, and rode out alone to a green, open place. I dismounted from Hwyn, my mare, and took out the dagger. I then shut my eyes and my teeth, and prepared to drive the dagger into my heart. But before I had done so, this mare spoke with the voice of one of the daughters of men, and said, "Oh, my mistress, do not by any means destroy yourself, for if you live you may yet have good fortune, but all the dead are dead alike."
I didn't say it half so well as that.
She then told me about Narnia to such a degree that I had a great wish to be in that great country.
In Narnia, no maiden is forced to marry against her will, of course.
Of course.
And when we had talked together, I rejoiced that I had not killed myself. Moreover, it was agreed between Hwyn and me that we should steal ourselves away together, and we concocted an elaborate plan to do so.
What was your plan?
I returned to my father's house and pretended to be happy about my marriage to Ahoshta. I then asked my father's permission to go with one of my maidens alone for 3 days into the woods to do the customary secret sacrifices to Zardina, Lady of the Night and of Maidens, in preparation of marriage. He granted his permission. I then went immediately to the oldest of his slaves, his secretary, who had bounced me on his knee when I was a baby and loved me more than the air and the light. I swore him to be secret and begged him to write a certain letter for me. He wept and implored me to change my resolution, but in the end he did as I asked.
What was in the letter?
If you'll be quiet, I'll tell you in due time. Then I called the maid, who was to go with me to the woods and perform the rites of Zardina, and told her to wake me very early in the morning. And I became merry with her and gave her wine to drink. But I had mixed such things in her cup that I knew she must sleep for a night and a day. Then, as soon as the household of my father had committed themselves to sleep, I arose and put on an armour of my brother's. I put into my girdle all the money I had and certain choice jewels, and provided myself also with food, and saddled the mare and rode away in the second watch of the night. I directed my course north and east to Tashban.
I see now. Your father and his household thought you would be sacrificing in the woods for 3 days, so no one would realize you were missing and search for you.
Precisely.
And what happened to the girl? The one you had drugged?
Doubtless she was beaten for sleeping late. But she was a spy of my stepmother's. I am very glad they should beat her.
That's hardly fair.
I did not do any of these things for the sake of pleasing you.
Continue with your story.
On the 4th day we arrived at the city of Azim Boldar, which stands at the meeting of many roads. From it the letters of the Tisroc, may he live forever, are taken by messengers on swift horses to every part of the empire. I therefore posted a letter to my father, the same letter which I'd had my father's secretary secretly compose, a letter which feigned to be written by a Shasta.
Another ruse.
In the letter, a Shasta explains to my father how on his journey to Calabar for our wedding, he discovered me in the forest performing the rites and sacrifices to Zardina. Being delighted with my beauty and discretion, he became inflamed with love and decided to marry me at once. The letter then bids my father to go immediately to the house of a Shasta to celebrate and to pay my dowry.
How very clever. Once your father received the letter, he would send messages to our Shasta or go to him himself.
Whereupon, before the matter could be discovered, I should be beyond Tashban. And that is the pith of my story.
A remarkable story.
Yes, remarkable.
Tell me, great warwolves, you have lived a long time in Calormen and are well acquainted with the Tarkans and their battles.
True.
Then you would know a great many of the same people and places that I know.
It is likely.
Which battles?
Oh, too many to remember. Tebeth, Zulindra.
If you're at Zulindra, you would have seen my cousin Alimash.
Oh, yes, the captain of the chariots. He is a worthy nobleman.
If we're going to continue our journey tomorrow, hadn't we better turn in?
Yes, a sensible idea.
Yes. Alimash now lives by the lake at Masril. Do you know it?
I was there only last summer. What a delightful place it is.
Oh, those gardens.
And the Valley of the Thousand Perfumes.
Well, I'm turning in.
If you know Masril, then perhaps you know Lazaraline Tarkina.
She's a close friend of my family.
They were getting nearer to Tashban. There were more and larger villages and more people on the roads. They now did nearly all their travelling by night and hid as best they could during the day. And at every halt they argued and argued about what they were to do when they reached Tashban. Everyone had been putting off this difficulty, but now it could be put off no longer.
The first thing we must do is to fix a place to meet, somewhere on the far side of Tashban. If, by any ill luck, we get separated while passing the city.
Where do you suggest?
The tombs of the ancient kings on the very edge of the desert. They're things like stone beehives. You can't possibly miss them. And the best of it is that none of the Calormens will go near them, because they think the place is haunted by ghouls. They're afraid of it.
Oh, it isn't really haunted, is it?
Frankly, I'm a free Narnian horse and don't believe in these Calormen tales.
I don't care a straw about these old stories of ghouls either.
I'm not bothered.
The tombs will be our assembly place then.
I hope you don't mind my mentioning something.
Please do, Madam Huin.
It seems to me that the real problem isn't where we should meet when we get through Tashban, but how we're going to get through it at all.
I suggest we swim across the river below the city during the night and not go into Tashban at all.
The river mouth is very wide, and it would be far too long a swim for Huin to do, especially with a rider on her back.
I hadn't thought of that.
Also, it will be full of shipping, and of course anyone on the deck of a ship who saw 2 horses swimming past will be inquisitive.
Well, does the river narrow at any point?
Above Tashban.
Well, why don't we cross there?
Because there are gardens and pleasure houses on both banks of the river for miles.
So?
Well, there will be Tarkans and Tarkinas living in them and riding about the roads and having water parties on the river. It would be the most likely place in the world for meeting someone who would recognize Erevis, or even me.
We could wear a disguise.
We should wear disguises in any event. But I must confess that I believe the safest thing is to go right through the city itself from gate to gate, because one is less likely to be noticed in the crowd. The humans can dress up in rags and look like peasants and slaves, and all Aravis's armour and our saddles and things must be made into bundles and put on our backs. And the children must pretend to drive us, and people will think we're only pack horses.
Oh, my dear Wynne. As if anyone can mistake Bree for anything but a warhorse, however you disguised him.
I should think not, indeed.
I know it's not a very good plan, but I think it's our only chance.
Well...
We haven't been groomed for ages, and we're not looking quite ourselves.
True.
I do think if we get well plastered with mud and go along with our heads down, as if we're tired and lazy, and lift our hooves hardly at all, we might not be noticed. And our tails ought to be cut shorter. Not neatly, you know, but all ragged.
Oh, my dear madam, have you pictured to yourself how very disagreeable it would be to arrive in Narnia in that condition?
Well, the main thing is to get there.
I think it's the most sensible plan anyone's come up with so far.
It will involve a certain amount of raiding.
He means stealing.
We'll have to take a few things from some of the nearby farmhouses. Sacks and rope and the like.
I'll need some tattered old boys' clothes. Oh, and we can use my scimitar to cut your tails.
I don't much like the idea. Oh, but it's the only one we have. Let's get to work then.
We're approaching the city now.
Remember, keep together if we possibly can. If not, meet at the tombs of the ancient kings. And whoever gets there first must wait for the others.
And don't you two horses forget yourselves and start talking.
Narnia and the North!
What's that?
That's the horns blowing for the city gates to be opened. We shall be there in a minute.
Now, Aravis, do droop your shoulders a bit and step heavier and try to look less like a princess. Try to imagine you've been kicked and cuffed and called names all your life.
Oh, if it comes to that, what about you drooping your head a bit more and arching your neck a bit less and trying to look less like a warhorse?
Hush! Here we are.
What's wrong, Aravis? You have an odd look on your face.
Oh, it's all very well for you. What could you care about Tashban? I ought to be riding in on a litter with soldiers before me and slaves behind. And perhaps going to a feast in the Tisrock's palace. May he live forever. Not sneaking in like this. It's different for you.
It's very silly.
Oh, those soldiers would all jump to attention and salute me if they knew whose daughter I am.
Be quiet or he'll give us away.
Hey, you! Horse boy!
Yes, sir?
What does he want?
You'll catch it if your master finds you've been using his saddle horse for pack work.
It's my master's orders. So there.
Take that! You young filth! They teach you how to talk to a soldier and a free man.
Yes, sir.
Be on your way.
Are you all right, Shasta?
Yes. I'm used to being hit a lot harder than that. What is this place? In 1 minute we're in a marketplace, and the next well, here.
We're very near the palaces of the Tisrock. May he live forever. And his many dignitaries.
It's too crowded. I can barely move.
Be patient.
We're in danger of losing hold of Free.
Way for the white barbarian king, the guest of the Tisrock, may he live forever! Make way for the Narnian lord!
Narnia? Did he say Narnia?
You're in the way.
I can't. Free, back up!
Now then, watch who you're shoving!
I'm really sorry!
Make way, boys!
I'm trying!
Shasta!
I've lost hold of Bree!
Just get out of the way and stand still!
And so Shasta found himself unintentionally in the first row of the crowd and had a fine sight of the party that was coming down the street. The crier who went ahead was the only Calormen in it, and everyone was on foot. there were about half a dozen men who were all as fair-skinned as Shasta was, and most of them had fair hair, and they were not dressed like men of Calormen. Their tunics were of fine, bright, hardy colours. Instead of turbans, they wore steel or silver caps. A few were bareheaded. The swords at their sides were long and straight, not curved like Calormen scimitars. And instead of being grave and mysterious like most Calormen, they walked with a swing and let their arms and shoulders go free, and chatted, laughed. You could see that they were ready to be friends with anyone who was friendly and didn't give a fig for anyone who wasn't. Shasta thought he'd never seen anything so lovely in his life. But there was no time to enjoy it, for at once a really dreadful thing happened.
Look! There he is! There's our runaway!
Me?
Shame on you, my lord! 5 for shame!
Well, I'll be bound. There you are. Queen Susan's eyes are red with weeping because of you.
Truant for a whole night. Where have you been?
Bree!
Take one of his lordship's hands, Pilgrim, of your courtesy, and I'll take the other.
Come along, my lord.
And now on. Our royal sister's mind will be greatly eased when she sees our young rascals safe in our lodging.
How hast thou escaped from us? And where hast thou been?
What has become of thy clothes?
Thou hast been very naughty indeed.
Have you nothing to say? I must plainly tell you, Prince, that to run away might pass for a boy's frolic with some spirit in it. But the king's son of Archenland should avouch his deed, not hang his head like a Calormen slave.
Still, he does not speak.
Perhaps in our chambers, in private. Come. Indeed we have, fair sister.
Oh, Corin, how could you? And thou and I such close friends ever since thy mother died. And what should I have said to thy royal father if I came home without thee? Would have been a cause almost of war between Archenland and Narnia, which are friends time out of mind. It was naught, playmate, very naught of thee to use us so. Where hast thou been, Corin?
I don't know.
There it is, Susan. I could get no tale out of him. True or false?
Oh, your majesties, Queen Susan, King Edmund.
When Shasta turned to look at the speaker who'd just called out, he nearly jumped out of his skin with surprise. The creature was about the same height as Shasta himself. From the waist upwards he was like a man, but his legs were hairy, like a goat's, and shaped like a goat's, and he had goat's hooves and a tail. His skin was rather red, and he had curly hair and a short pointed beard and 2 little horns. He was, in fact, a faun, which is a creature Shasta had never seen a picture of or even heard of.
Your majesties, his little highness has had a touch of the sun. Well, look at him. He's dazed. He doesn't know where he is.
Of course.
Oh, do forgive us, dear Corin. Come. Sit down on these cushions.
Peregrine, bring him a cold drink.
Yes, your highness.
Lie still and keep very quiet now. There, that's much better.
This is a curious business, and I can only wonder if it is in some way connected to our purpose here.
How could it?
I cannot say.
A drink for the prince.
Here, Corin. Drink slowly.
Thank you.
Good.
So, what think you, madam? We have been in this city fully 3 weeks. Have you yet settled in your mind whether you will marry this suitor of yours, this Prince Rabadash, or no?
No, brother. Not for all the jewels in Tashban.
Truly, sister, I should have loved you the less if you had taken him. And I tell you that at the first coming of Tisrock's ambassadors into Narnia to speak of this marriage, and later, when the prince was our guest at Caer Paravel, it was a wonder to me that ever you could find it in your heart to show him so much favour.
That was my folly, Edmund, of which I cry you mercy. Yet, when he was with us in Narnia, truly this prince bore himself in a different fashion than he does now in Tashban. For I take you all to witness what marvellous feats he did in that great tournament, and how meekly and courteously he consorted with us the space of 7 days.
Yeah.
But here, in his own city, he has shown another face.
Yes, it's an old saying, see the bear in his own den before you judge of his conditions.
Yes, we have now seen him for what he is, a most proud, bloody, luxurious, cruel, and self-pleasing tyrant.
Then in the name of Aslan, let us leave Tashban this very day.
There's the rub, sister. For now I must open to you all that has been growing in my mind these last 2 days and more. Peredan, of your courtesy, look to the door and see that there is no spy upon us.
Yes, Your Highness. All is well.
We must be secret. Salopad, draw near. I have need of your counsel.
This was another surprise for Shasta. A large raven, which had been sitting by the window, suddenly leapt from its place and, moving towards the others, said,
Yes, Your Highness.
Edmund, what is it? There is something dreadful in your face.
My dear sister, and very good lady, you must now show your courage. For I tell you plainly, we are in no small danger.
What is it, Edmund?
It is this. I do not think we shall find it easy to leave Tashban. While the prince had hoped that you would take him, we were honored guests. But, by the lion's mane, I think that as soon as he has your flat denial, we shall be no better than prisoners.
I warned Your Majesties. I warned you. Easily in, but not easily out, as the lobster said in the lobster pot.
I have been with the prince this morning. He is little used to having his will crossed, and he is very chafed at your long delays and doubtful answers. This morning, he pressed very hard to know your mind. I put it aside, meaning at the same time to diminish his hopes with some light common jests about women's fancies, and hinted this suit was likely to be cold. He grew angry and dangerous. There was a sort of threatening, though still veiled under a show of courtesy, in every word he spoke.
Yes, and when I supped with the Grand Vizier last night, it was the same. He asked me how I liked Tashban, and I couldn't tell him I hated every stone of it, and wouldn't lie. I told him that now, when high summer was coming on, my heart turned to the cool woods and dewy slopes of Narnia. He gave a smile that meant no good, and he said, "There's nothing to hinder you from dancing there again, little Goatfoot, always provided you leave us in exchange a bride for our prince."
Do you mean he would make me his wife by force?
That's my fear, Susan. Wife or slave, which is worse.
But how can he? Does the Tisroc think our brother, the High King, would suffer such an outrage?
Sire, they would not be so mad. Do they think there are no swords and spears in Narnia?
Alas, my guess is that the Tisroc has very small fear of Narnia. We are a little land. He longs to blot us out, gobble us up. When first he suffered the prince to come to Caer Paravel as your suitor, sister, it may be that he was only seeking an occasion against us. Most likely, he hopes to make one mouthful of Narnia and Archenland both.
Let him try. See, we are as big as he is. And if he assaults us by land, he has the desert to cross.
True, friend. But is the desert a sure defense?
I know the desert well, for I have flown above it far and wide in my younger days.
Oh.
And this is certain. If the Tisroc goes by the great oasis, he can never lead a great army across it into Archenland. But there is another way. Starting from the tombs of the ancient kings and riding northwest, so that the double peak of Mount Fire is always straight ahead. And so, in a day's riding or a little more, a traveler shall come to the head of a stony valley, which is so narrow that a man might be within a furlong of it 1,000 times and never know it was there.
And looking down this valley, he will see neither grass, nor water, nor anything else good. But if he rides on down it, he will come to a river and can ride by the water all the way to Arkenland.
Do the Calormens know of this western way?
Friends! What is the use of all this discourse? We are not asking whether Narnia or Calormen would win if war arose between them. We are asking how to save the honour of the Queen and our own lives out of this devilish city. For though our brother Peter the High King might defeat the Tisroc 12 times over, yet long before that day our throats would be cut, and Queen Susan would be the wife, or more likely, the slave of this prince.
We have our weapons, King, and this is a reasonably defensible house.
I do not doubt that every one of us would sell our lives dearly for the Queen.
Yes.
But we should be merely rats fighting in a trap when all's said.
I am the cause of all this. If only I had never left Cair Paravel.
Courage, Sue, courage. Remember... But what is the matter with you, Mr. Tumnus?
Don't speak to me. Don't speak. I'm thinking. Oh, I'm thinking so hard I can hardly breathe. Wait. Do wait. The only difficulty is how to get down to our ship, with some stores too, without being seen and stopped.
Yes. Just as the beggar's only difficulty about riding is that he has no horse.
Wait. You see, all we need is some pretext for going down to our ship today and taking stuff on board.
Yes?
Well then, now, how would it be if your majesties invited the prince to a great banquet to be held on board our own galleon tomorrow night? And let the message be worded as graciously as the queen can contrive without pledging her honour, so as to give the prince a hope that she is weakening.
That is very good counsel, sire.
You see, then everyone will expect us to be going down to the ship all day, making preparations for our guests. And let some of us go to the bazaars and spend every minim we have at the fruiterers and the sweetmeat sellers and the wine merchants, just as we would if we were really given a feast. And let us order magicians and jugglers and dancing girls and flute players, all to be on board tomorrow night.
I see.
And then we'll all be on board tonight. And as soon as it's quite dark...
Up sails and out oars.
And our nose northward.
Yes.
Oh, Master Tumnus, you have saved us all.
Oh, though the prince will chase us.
That's the least of my fears. I have seen all the shipping in the river, and there's no tall ship of war nor swift galley there. I wish he may chase us, for our beautiful Splendor Hyoline could sink anything he has to send after her, if we were overtaken at all.
Sire, you shall hear no better plot than the fawns, though we sat in council for 7 days. And now, as we birds say, nests before eggs, which is as much as to say, let us take our food and then at once be about our business.
To the dining room, then. My lady Susan.
Lie there, your highness, and I'll bring you up a little feast in a few moments. There's no need for you to move until we're all ready to embark.
Thank you. This is perfectly dreadful. What am I going to do? I simply daren't tell them I'm not Prince Corin now. I've heard all their plans. If they knew I wasn't one of them, they'd never let me out of this house alive. They'd be afraid I'd betray them to the Tisroc. And they'd kill me. And if the real Corin turns up, it'll all come out. And they will. Oh, what am I to do?